Hey everyone, welcome back to 996 The Howl. We are at the 20-game progress mark of the season. About a quarter of the season already gone by, and the Utah Mammoth stand at 10-7-3. The past 10 games have been really rough for the Mammoth. A huge cold streak, only going 2-5-3 for the Utah Mammoth. Everyone's got an opinion of what's wrong, what needs to fix. Some people want to go straight to a rebuild and grab the first overall pick, but I assume those people are being facetious. The Utah Mammoth have played the most road games in the NHL. Maybe that's got something to do with it. They're currently on a 4-game point streak, but have only won 2 games. Like I said, in their past 10 games, they're 2-5-3. So obviously only won 2 games in their past 10 games. My expectation for that, short back-to-back Californian road trip was 2 out of 4 points. They did get 2 out of 4 points. Not the way I expected it. 2 overtime losses. Great battle back against San Jose, but there's things wrong with the team, and we're going to get into it here. Points percentage has just cratered, but this was expected. I didn't think it would crater this much. I said in a 10-game progress report that should settle around 65, like a 0.65, a 65% points percentage is good for the playoffs. And I feel like that's where the team should be. They're lower than that. They're currently at 575. At 18th in the league in terms of point percentage, or 14th in the league in terms of absolute points. So they're where pretty much everyone expected them to be, a wild card battling team. But because of that hot start of 8-2-0, top of the division, top in the league, it's been a really hard adjustment for fans to go from that high of highs to pretty much the low of lows, even though it's not really the low of lows. They're kind of where they're a little bit lower of where they should be. Just that drop off, that gap, that, not meeting, setting that high expectation and then not meeting it is causing all of this frustration in the fan base. But if you just zoom out, this is pretty much where they should be. And there's a lot of things they need to work on to be better. And I think, and I know the team knows that, the head coach knows that, the fans know that. They got to be better in a lot of areas. And so we'll get into it. Yeah, coming down from an 800 points percentage. You're not finishing the season with 800 points percentage. Goals for per game, just over 3. I'm actually surprised it's still over 3 goals per game. This team, the offense scares the hell out of me in a negative way, not in a positive way. The possession is great. The offensive zone time is great, but they don't do much with the puck when they're in the offensive zone. Like, that San Jose game was so frustrating because, first of all, it looked like they were going to get blown out immediately, allowing 2 goals probably in the first 10 minutes. San Jose looked fast. And then San Jose had nothing for like the rest of the game. It was all Utah dictating the play, which I liked, controlling the play, which I like. It's great to be a fan of a team that controls the play as opposed to the play being controlled onto them. But they're not doing anything with the puck in the offensive zone. And the number one culprit is that first line of Schmaltz, Cooley, and Keller. It is way too perimeter. They got to change that lineup. I really hope I'm wrong. They've got a 4-game homestand coming up, and I really do hope they blow up. Someone screen caps this video and say, look this idiot, thinking they should split up the first line of Cooley, Schmaltz, and Keller, but way too perimeter. No one's going to the front of the net on that line. It should be Schmaltz. Schmaltz is great at finding his office in the little high slot quiet area, but he's just not going there, and there's no space. They're not just not attacking the middle of the ice. They go like a merry-go-round in the offensive zone, and then nothing really comes out of it. So I'm surprised it's at above 3. Like I said, it's coming down from 3.7, which was unsustainable. But for such a young team with such bright young stars, this team shouldn't be having problems offensively. And I think that's the number one issue right here is the offense. They got to figure this out. I know we'll get into the goaltending. We'll get into some other things other people think is worse. But for me, the number one issue is the power play and the offense. It does not look good, and I'm scared. For such a young, high-tempo, high-offense team, it shouldn't be this inept. We go to goals against per game, 3.05. maybe I should do like a regulation goals against, because in the past 4 games, they've only allowed 2 goals in regulation in all those 4 games, which is amazing. But, you have to count overtime, goals against per game, goals against average. Well, goals against per game doesn't take into account overtime. It accounts 1 game as 1 game, 60 or 65 minutes. So a little bit misleading there, because I do think they're doing fine. They're doing good. I would say good. They're good defensively. Like, allowing 2 goals in regulation is money. Like, you want that every single game. It's about the scoring. You can't win games 1-0 or 2-1. Like, you have to get that 3-goal mark and win 3-2 games. That's like probably the most popular or most goal situation that happens in hockey is 3-2, and then you add in empty netters. But they're 17th in the league in both goals for per game and goals against per game. It's over 3, which I don't like. That needs to be below 3. Like 2.7 is sustainable. You're not going to get low 2s. Low 2s is not sustainable. 2.5 to high 2s is pretty much what a great team would have. And for goals for, maybe it just stays there. If it stays at 3, but a lot of this is because of the first 10 games just scoring at an unreal rate. So it's sort of like balancing out such a high scoring team in the first 10 games to a low scoring team in the past 10 games, from games 10 to 20. And it's evening out. If they stay at 3 goals per game on average, that's fine. It should get them to the playoffs. Power play, abysmal, 29th in the league, 15%. They have 1 power play goal in the past 10 games. They're 1 for 24 on the power play. The lone power play goal came on a 5-on-3 against the Islanders, so they still haven't scored 5-on-4 on a power play in 10 games. Really bad. The coach that handles power play and the faceoffs is Blaine Forsyth, who they acquired about 2 or 3 seasons ago, and he was great. His first year in Arizona, last year with the hockey club, power play was amazing. He's coming from Washington, coaching Ovi on the power play. But when the Capitals got rid of Blaine Forsyth, I saw a lot of Washington fans like erupt in happiness. They were so happy that he left. And I was scratching my head, like, he's doing so well with Arizona and the first year in Utah. Why would they cheer? And maybe now we're finally seeing the real Blaine Forsyth and why they wanted him to go. And I'm on that train. I know you don't really change assistant coaches in the middle of a season, but maybe they got to do something unprecedented, because these are 2 really bad stat lines of power play and faceoffs, and that wins you games. Like, scoring a power play goal, getting that, it helps you get that 3rd goal in a game. Winning faceoffs, you gain more possession, you control a little bit more, you create chances of winning faceoffs. Like, those 2 stats, they're really important, even though there are only 2 stats out of like a sea of thousands of stats. PK, amazing, 11th in the league. They didn't allow a power play goal for the full 10 games until in overtime against the San Jose Sharks last night. The very last moment they could allow a power play goal in a 10-game block, they unfortunately concede. But 21 for 22 on the PK the past 10 games. Great job by John Madden, assistant coach, who controls the PK, and I believe he coaches the defensive structure as well. We'll get into that a little bit later, but great job on the PK. And then we go to save percentage, down in the dumps, 28th in the league, 871 is bad. It was good at 904. The issue I'm having to reconcile is I don't think it's bad goaltending. I don't think the goaltending is trash. The goaltending is not losing them the games. Scoring goals is making them lose the games. Like Vanacek against San Jose, did you really expect Vanacek to allow 1 goal? No. He allowed 2 goals in regulation. For Vanacek, a backup, that's what you want. Like, you want that. And to, like, be mad at that, it's really weird. It's not weird. It's unsustainable to expect goaltenders to allow 2 or less in regulation per game. Like I already said, goals against needs to be about 2.5 to the high 2s. So there are going to be games where they allow 3, but to keep it consistent under 3 is unsustainable. I think the save percentage number looks really bad because the shots on goal against per game is absurdly high. They're first in the league in the least amount of shots against. So if they're not allowing a lot of shots, and then you allow 2 goals per game, that brings their save percentage down. Like 23, like 20, if you allow 2 goals on 23 shots, that's 21 out of 23. It's about a 9-10. But if you allow 3 goals, it goes down to 860. So that's the difference between allowing 3 goals and 2 goals. You go from a 9-10 save percentage to 860. One looks terrible and one looks really good. And it's a difference of just 1 goal. For me, again, it just goes to scoring. You need to get 3 goals. And if your goalies allow 2 goals a game, that's great. Like even 3, you should get a point in that game. But I think that's why the save percentage looks really bad, is because they're not allowing a lot of shots, which is great. First in the league, like that's amazing. Coming from a rebuild where you just get dominated, blown out, to controlling, dictating, and stifling the other team, it's been a great change of pace for me. Shooting percentage, 19th. That could be higher. It's down almost 2%. From the first 10 games. Shots on goal, 4 per game, 11th in the league, 29. That's great. They got to shoot more. I felt like they didn't shoot a lot against San Jose. Even that first line, like I already said, they hold on to the puck a lot, but don't do much with it. And when they do get a shot, it's from the outside. It gets blocked, and it's not really high danger. Already talked about shots on goal against. This is great, like shots on goal against is not luck. To be first in the league, it's not luck. It's amazing coaching. It's amazing defensive structure. It's having possession 5-on-5. It's you're controlling the puck more than the other team for them to get shots. It's keeping teams to the outside and not allowing a lot of shots when you're on the ice. So like when people say fire Turney, he's terrible, I'm not there yet. Like I'm scared of the offense. If that continues for longer, like then I start to think like they probably do need some sort of change. But when I see stats like this, first in the league, like that's great. That's great coaching. PK, that's great coaching. That's not luck. To be so good on the PK, allowing 1 power play goal against in the past 10 games isn't luck. It's great team structure. It's great coaching. But yeah, I already said John Madden handles that. So it's like, it's the offense. To me, it just always comes down to the offense, and I'm sure other people have disagreeing opinions. That face-offs, like I already said, needs to be way better. It's still below 50%, but at least it's high. It was really bad here. They're 8-2-0 with 45% on the face-offs, and then they go 2-5-3, and their face-offs go up. Needs to go a little bit higher. And hits per game is down about 1 hit per game. This team is not hard-nosed, that Bill Armstrong type of hockey he always talks about. The hit leaders are Tanev, Krause, McBain. Tanev, Krause, McBain, they're all about 50 hits on this season, which is 2.5 hits per game, which is great, but it drops off hard after McBain. It's Carconi in 4th with 30 hits. So to go from 50 to 30 from your top 3 to your 4th, and then the defense are barely hitting. Your top hitting defensemen are Schmidt and Cole with 24 hits each on the season, which is about 1 hit per game. And then it's a massive drop off to Sergachev with 5 hits in 20 games. So like the defense isn't grinding it out. They're not hard to play against in the defensive zone. They're not hitting, like being intimidating on the ice. Like this team is on the borderline of kind of being soft. And I know the personnel isn't there. Like Marino's not going to hit. Mata's not going to hit. DeSimone's not going to hit. When Dursey comes back, he's not hitting. Sergachev could be a little bit more feistier and emotional. Like last season, he was very feisty. This season, his body language seems odd. We'll get into Sergachev a little bit later. So we'll get into players. Schmaltz continues to lead the way. 22 points in 10 games. He's already hit half his goal totals from last season. He got that at the 18-game mark, I believe, his 10th goal. So in 82 games last year, he had 20 goals. This year, he's already at 10 at game number 18, and now obviously at game number 20. He had an unreal start to the year, and he's coming back down to earth like we all expected. Schmaltz, Keller, Peterka, and Krause each have 6 points in the past 10 games. Sergachev leads away with 7 points in the past 10 games. Keller, 18 points in 20 games, could be a little bit better, but for me, he's always an 80-point guy. 90 points might be his career high, which is fine. Keller's a point per game player. He's right there. That's what I expect. That's what you're going to get out of him. Cooley, 16 points in 20 games, a little bit quiet. He had 5 points in the past 10 games. He officially inked his contract and kind of went cold, but we all know the story. He verbally signed his contract before that, natural hat trick against St. Louis on the road all the way back then. Gunther, 15 points in 20 games. Schmaltz leads the team in goals with 10. I like Cooley scoring 9. Gunther, 8. Peterka, 8. Like, that's on pace for about 35 plus goals per game, goals on a season, about half. So like half of 82 is 41. Go a little bit lower, let's say 35. If Cooley, Gunther, Peterka, Schmaltz all get 35 goals, that's great. That's a successful season. Great to see Cooley scoring 9. And like I said, Gunther and Peterka, great to see them. Gunther, 4 points in the past 10 games. He was really quiet from, I say, games 10 to 18, but a great goal against the Islanders, a great goal against Anaheim. He looks a little bit better. He got called for that goaltender interference against San Jose. I mean, the push didn't warrant what Gunther did to the goalie. The Gunther completely wipes out the goalie from just like a little nudge, which is why I sort of agreed with it. I know that the San Jose player initiated contact, but it wasn't a force. It was like a little nudge, and the reaction to Gunther and what it did to the goalie just, to me, it didn't warrant the nudge that the defensive player gave, which is why it was called no goal. Peterka, 2 goals against San Jose, pretty much all by himself, individualistic, great shot. That's why we got him. Put puck in net, please. And Sergachev, 15 points in 20 games. His body language is rough this season. He's like Schmaltz, where their body language, like, do these guys even like playing hockey? And for Sergachev, he was so emotional last season, getting into scrums, being that bully on the ice. But this series, not doing it. He's playing 25 minutes a game. And the next highest player is Schmidt at 21. So he's averaging 4 minutes more per game than anyone else on the team. Maybe he's overworked. Maybe he's tired. Maybe he's conserving his energy for offense and defending. And the offense is there. Being top 5 on the team is great for Sergachev, but he's working a lot. We use him everywhere, 5-on-5, power play, and PK. Then we go to goalies. Loving this. I love the win-loss record for Vejmelka, 8-4-2. No one's going to be upset at that. Then you go to the numbers, and again, really rough goaltending numbers. Vanacek, 2-3-1, fine for a backup, but again, the goalie numbers are poor, and my opinion is they're poor because they're not getting a lot of shots and they're allowing 2 goals a game, 3 goals almost. Like, every single game for the Mammoth is close. It's always 1 goal in the third or tied in the third, like every single game, without hyperbole. The only game that was kind of blown out by the third was Edmonton. Out of 20 games, 1 game. Like, they're there. They're right there in the third. To me, it's still not goaltending. I know they allow bad goals. Vejmelka overcommits to goals against Anaheim. That was a rough display on 2 of those goals. And the post, the way he's covering his post, when the puck's behind the net, I feel so uncomfortable with Vejmelka in net. It seems like he doesn't really know what to do when the puck's behind the net. He guesses wrong, doesn't hug his post. On wraparounds, he's very slow to react. So they do need to be better. But the goaltending, for me, it's not the singular problem. It's a symptom. And I think the big issue is just offense. And it's fine if you disagree and think it's goalies. This team's identity is not to be saved by goaltending. It's not to win games by goaltending. It's to be tight defense, control the puck 5-on-5, and score goals at will. And they're not scoring at will. And they've lost that identity for me currently. So that's it for me. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, spread the word.